Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize that there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box?
What's inside?
That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness.
Yes?
You are the only one who can open this. Please.
There is a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted?
What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note.
The suicide note?
The suicide note left by Juan Corda's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden by the victim, Juan Corda himself. It seems Celeste Impax had a very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide.
Order! Witness, did you know about this?
Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered its body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Because it had already been taken by the killer.
Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question?
What is written on the note?
That's right. At least, that's what I would think.
Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be made known.
I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it, and I was going to burn it for her sake.
I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could, please read the contents of this note aloud.
Very well.
The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the dead-silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Angard. About being engaged to Corda and Angard's role in destroying that. And about how she decided in her despair to end it all.
And that's all Miss Impax had to say.
There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Angard.
Then what?
Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness?
Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference.
My word. Matt Angard values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost.
It's Angard's fault that woman killed herself, and this time he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that! How terrible! What a selfish person! I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too!
There is no margin for doubt here. Mr. DeKiller's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note, and then the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house.
It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone.
How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know, I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay, there are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I could find a way out of the situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand, Phoenix. Hurry! The suicide note or the figurine? Which one of these should I pursue? The suicide note!
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor! Oh man, look at that lawyer! He's still going at it? It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that Matt Engarde killed in order to obtain this note.
Yes, that is correct.
But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Corda until the night of the murder. If that is the case, I say that Matt Engarde could not have known what was written on this note!
Oh, I didn't think of it that way.
Exactly, but I did think of that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said!
Order! You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently.
I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this.
What is that?
It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying.
Spying?
What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession.
Matt Engarde and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses.
And?
The victim, Juan Corda, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Mr. Matt Engarde.
Order! Mr. Wright!
Yes, Your Honor?
You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities.
Well, sort of.
Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright.
I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this.
Gumshoe's bug sweeper.
By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera.
Matt Engarde's fingerprints were on there?
Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence?
I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Engarde learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along.
He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy? Shush, stop, don't look at him. The way he's sweating is just so, nasty. Phoenix. Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There is a piece of evidence that he really should investigate.
Something he should investigate?
I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance.
Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden?
Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything.
Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you?
What is this piece of evidence that Mia is talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? I have an objection, Your Honor.
That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense has no intentions of letting this go so easily.
You were beginning to sound desperate.
That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said?
So, you're telling me that I forgot something?
You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Take that!
That is Miss Impax's suicide note, right?
Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear, but this bear was in my possession until a few moments ago. Which means... the handwriting of the suicide note has yet to be analyzed!
Oh,
So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impax or not, has yet to be even remotely confirmed.
Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting...
Mr. Wright, are you saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. OnGuard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you?
Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever.
But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it.
What?
Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt OnGuard. I didn't know such a thing.
Right, if you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory.
Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution.
Ah! That's enough! Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note? It is as the defense stated, the handwriting is yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible.
This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day.
I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate.
Handwriting analysis my butt! That's just the lawyer trying to buy more time! OnGuard is guilty! Look, any idiot could tell you that!
I think
we've reached the end of the line.
Guilty!
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty! Guilty! Guilty! Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
Huh? What does that sound?
It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe. What is with him? And what's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make that up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal, but the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Guilty. 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 Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that.
Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after...
Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch! Mr. Edgeworth? Please, you gotta buy us some more time!
Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying?
Mr. Wright, this is a court of law!
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but...
I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow.
This time I really can't do anything.
Court is now adjourned for the day.
Hold!
Please, wait, Your Honor.
Edgeworth?
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time.
For what purpose?
We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time.
But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes?
I believe we can, Your Honor.
But wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for today and then reconvene tomorrow?
30 minutes, please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for.
Please, Your Honor.
Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today.
I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us.
The court will now take its final recess of the day.
Right, well, what's going on with Maya's situation?
The killer, it looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time.
Report!
Is that Mr. Edgeworth?
We don't have time, just spit it out.
Right. It looks like we just missed him, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away.
A few things?
Can we use any of them as evidence?
Oh, I thought you'd ask, pal. I've got things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over.
Really?
That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first.
We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran.
What?
Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now.
Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this.
My hunk of junk car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me.
Alright, just get here in one piece.
I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light.
Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's not good.
Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me.
No one can stop. But...
What happened?
It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well.
What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help!
But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken, and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them.
No, we can't let that happen.
Well, if there is a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance.
Why, oh why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? Actually, yeah, there is. That's right, there is a way.
What? How?
I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this.
Take that!
Why are you bringing up Benziska at a time like... Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have.
Franziska. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth.
What is it?
I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty. But what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say Defense Attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death.
Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided.
The verdict?
It's Prosecutor Edgeworth here!
Yes, bailiff?
There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do.
And we will take those actions next time in the thrilling conclusion. See you then.